So we are going to be drawing using 1 point perspective today. You're going to need your sketchbook, a ruler, a pencil, and an eraser. So for 1 point perspective, you need three things. You need to have a horizon line, a vanishing point, and orthogonal lines. So first, you're going to draw your horizon line. And in the middle of that horizon line, you're going to place your vanishing point. You do not always have to have your horizon line and your vanishing point in the center of your paper, but for the purposes of the work we're doing today, we're going to have those things in the center because it will give us plenty of room to do everything that we need to do. So now we're going to, on one side of the page, I'm going to have you draw three squares. You'll draw one square above the horizon line, one square on the horizon line, and one below the horizon line. So this is going to give us three different perspectives of a cube. Pause the video as needed to complete each step of our drawing today. Once you have all three of your squares drawn, it will then be time to start making those squares look like cubes. We're going to add in our orthogonal lines. Those are the lines that are going to the vanishing point and create the illusion that an object is three-dimensional. So I line my ruler up with each corner of the square and with the vanishing point to draw my line. So you'll notice each of those appears to meet at the vanishing point. Now to close off my box to show where that box ends, I want to make sure that my lines are parallel to the front of my box. So I line my ruler up on the front edge of the box and then I slide it back and draw that vertical line showing the end of the box. So now I have all of this extra orthogonal lines and I can erase that portion of the line so that all I'm left with is the cube. The key here is to use very light pressure with your pencil when you're drawing so that it's easy to erase. You can always come back in later and make your final lines darker with a heavier pressure, but you want to start light to make it easy on yourself down the road. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the box that is below the horizon line. Again, lining my ruler up on each corner in the vanishing point, drawing the line where it extends back and meets the vanishing point. I'll do that with all three of these corners. So again, I'm going to line my ruler up on the front side and slide it back so that my box is parallel. Okay, line my ruler up, slide it back. That just helps me to keep these lines as close to parallel as I can possibly get without having to measure. Now I have one last square that is on the horizon line. That is going to be right on my eye level. So I'm not going to see the top or the bottom of the box that's on my eye level. I'm only going to see one side of that box. So I'm only going to line my ruler up with those corners that are on the right side of that last square. Again, pause the video as you need in order to complete each box. Take your time. Drawing using perspective has a steep learning curve, so at first it's going to feel very hard, very challenging, but once you have the hang of it, you will be really surprised at what kinds of things you are able to draw with 1 point perspective. Erase all of your lines as you go. It will help to keep your page neat, and it will help you to keep track of which lines are going where. If you have too many lines going in 1,000 different directions, that's when your page starts to get really confusing and it's difficult to keep track of what your work should be looking like. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and label each of the boxes that we've drawn. The box that is above the horizon line is above our eye level. So we're looking up at that box. That's called worm's eye view. The box that is right on the horizon line is crossing the horizon line. That is right on our eye level. And the box that is below the horizon line, we're looking down at that box as though we are a bird in the sky, and that is called bird's eye view. So I want you to go ahead and continue to draw some more boxes so that you can get additional practice and see how the perspective changes depending on where the box is in relation to the horizon line and the vanishing point. You are going to have a total of 10 boxes on your page. I want you to have 3 boxes that are worm's eye view, 3 boxes that are eye level, and 4 boxes that are in bird's eye view. Go ahead and pause the video, draw your box, just the square first. And then after you have all of the squares drawn, come back and add the orthogonal lines that are going to make those boxes look three-dimensional. Once you have all of your squares drawn, now it's time to come in and add the orthogonal lines. So just like we did for the 3 boxes at the beginning of the video, you are going to line each corner up with your vanishing point. This will look different on your paper depending on where your boxes are placed in relation to your horizon line and in relation to your vanishing point. So you'll notice with this box that this bottom corner here is a very steep angle. I only see a small sliver of the side of that box, and that's because it's very close to the vanishing point on that side. So if I were looking at this in real life, I would only see a tiny sliver of that side. Just make sure that you are lining every single box on your paper up with the vanishing point that is on your paper. Again, yours might and probably will look different than the boxes that I'm drawing on my paper because your vanishing point is in a different location in relation to the boxes that you drew. So unless you put the boxes in the exact same place that I put my boxes, yours will look a little bit different. Go through, make sure you line every corner up with the vanishing point. So you start with the square and then you line the corner up with the vanishing point. It's those orthogonal lines, the ones that line up to the vanishing point, that create the illusion that the box is three-dimensional. So you can't draw orthogonal lines unless they are lined up with your vanishing point. Take your time, really think about what you're doing, pause the video, check with your neighbor to make sure that you're doing this correctly. When you're finished, your page should look roughly like this. You should have a total of 10 boxes on your page. All of them should have the orthogonal lines that are going to the vanishing point.